In a related topic, we have Dr. Jain talking about institutional delivery and its effect on child and infant and child health practices. Dr. Jain is currently Associate Professor at the Kasturba Medical College at Mangalore. His research interests include maternal and child health, road traffic accidents, childhood bronchial asthma, and health systems research. He has been awarded numerous fellowships and grants. So let's hear from Dr. Jain. Timer beda. It's okay. No, for each it is only 10. Only for the keynote speaker it was 15. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Devdasan, for that nice and brief introduction to me. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. It's my privilege and pleasure to be here amongst a diverse group of people who are working to make healthcare better in India. My research is titled, Does Institutional Delivery Help in Improving the Infant and Child Healthcare Practices and Health Promotion Related Parameters? And this was conducted at Ballari in Karnataka. The findings which I report are from Ballari in Karnataka. We all know that there are lots of schemes and lots of incentives which are being given by the government under different programs to institutionalize the deliveries, and there is a lot of incentive which is given. The National Rural Health Mission claims that it has been able to increase the institutionalization of delivery up to 47%, and still we find that there are a large number of births which happen at home, and worse still, though we had a presentation about skilled birth attendants, but we still have a lot of births which are conducted by traditional birth attendants as well. So we were wondering that are these strategies which are coming up to institutionalize the delivery working? Does institutional delivery help in improving the infant and child health practices even after they have the delivery at the institution? And is it mere enough to institutionalize the delivery without further emphasis on health promotion and care continuum? Do we stop at that? So with all this research, basically this paper reports on that, and basically the idea was to know the healthcare seeking behavior and the health promotional practices among home and institutionally delivered children at Ballari in Karnataka. Ballari is usually one of the poor performing districts in Karnataka, and to tell you a little more about this research, this was a 2-year research funded by the Health Systems Research Division of the ICMR. We did a comparative study between 2 districts, Dakshin Kannada and Ballari, and Dr. Shantaram Baliga, the pediatrics head of the department of our institution, was the principal investigator. I was one of the co-investigators. This particular paper reports the findings only from Ballari on this aspect, and this is about the 7 taluks in Ballari, 60 villages, and we had 2,158 households from where we collected the data. And this data was collected by trained medical social workers by doing a house-to-house survey. We followed a cluster sampling method and chose the villages, and then finally we did a random sampling to select the houses. A probability proportional to size sampling method was followed to have the proportional representation from different villages. This study was carried out during September 2010 to August 2012. The total number of deliveries seen in these households, total number of households 2,158, and then we took the most recent delivery which was there. Out of this, 1,010 deliveries happened at hospital or institution, and 1,148 were at homes. And out of these home deliveries, 674 had gone for an antenatal checkup. Now, we also looked at some of the parameters. Now, the age of the mother at first delivery, we found still there was a lot of teenage pregnancies which are happening. Less than 18 years, there were almost 20% of the mothers in this household survey. Fortunately, we did not have too many in the higher age group beyond 35. Most of them about 39%, 38.6% were in the age group of 18 to 25 years. The birth order of the children. Now, we've been also hearing a lot about, family planning and a lot of emphasis on that. But if we see the birth order of the children who were studied, it ranged from number 1 to even beyond 4. And some of the houses, it went up to 8, 9, and even one house had 10 births as well. So that's the kind of, birth orders which we found across. As I said, place of delivery. Here again, we found that obviously there were more home deliveries in Bellary. And institutionalization, as NRHM has reported, we had almost similar figures, 46.8%. Coming about the antenatal checkups that I mentioned, surprisingly, those who delivered at home with the help of traditional birth attendants, they had gone for an antenatal checkup. At least 1 or 2 of them were done by somebody or the other who was qualified. Now, private doctor were the more number, the major source of antenatal checkup was by the private doctor, followed by government doctor in 21.3% of the cases, and even nurses, healthcare workers also did the checkups in some of the cases. Again, we looked at the availability of facilities, the distance. If you see, most of the facilities were within the range of 5 kilometers from the place of residence of these respondents. 1 kilometer was the majority, 38.4%, and 2 to 5 was another 24%. In spite of this, they have gone and delivered at home, and in spite of the antenatal care that they have sought earlier. So there was something which probably is not right maybe, and that we need to further look at probably. We looked at some of the parameters. Now, pre-lacteal feed was given in a lot of cases in home delivery, which is expected, but even in almost 57.4% of the cases in institutional delivery, there was a pre-lacteal feed which was given. Delayed initiation of breastfeeding beyond 2 hours after birth was noted in 38% of institutional delivery as compared to 62% of home deliveries. And we also had exclusive breastfeeding, which was less than 6 months in 17% of institutional delivery compared to 12%. Now that is again something which needs to be looked at. Delayed initiation of weaning was also almost similar in both institutional as well as home deliveries, and immunization, incomplete immunization was almost similar because completed immunization was 88% in institutional delivery compared to 83.4% in home delivery. Now what happens to these children who were born if they fell sick or they had some kind of illness? Where did they go and seek their health care? Where did the parents go? And we found, surprisingly, most of them were taken to a private clinic or a private doctor. 60.4% in case of a hospital delivery, whereas a 55.3% in case of a child born through home delivery. Also, there were like a lot of people who were going for alternate medicine, 16.6% in case of home delivery, whereas 10.6% in case of hospital delivery. And there was some practice of over-the-counter or going just to the medical shop or pharmacy shop, chemist, and seeking the medicines as well just by narrating symptoms. So with this brief presentation, I just want to highlight a few issues. We see that there is non-utilization and underutilization of health facilities for antenatal, natal, and postnatal care. What could be the reasons? Are these incentives not working? What is the role of Anganwadi workers, Ashas? Are they too busy with so many other things which they are burdened with? Is it just to do with illiteracy and poverty alone? Or there are other factors? Are there some cultural factors which are playing a role? Because they are seeking antenatal care, but ultimately when it comes to delivery, they go back and deliver at home. Probably there is some related to cultural factors where they think that, this is a natural process. We need to look at that. We've not gone into details of that, but probably that's something which needs to be looked at. We also see that, non-utilization of healthcare facility for delivery in spite of proximity. Is it something to do with availability, affordability, quality of services which is available, or maybe the health manpower which is available or not available, or probably their satisfaction or rather dissatisfaction, maybe that experience comes into play. And we have some data on that, but I can't share it right now because time is limited. And there is some kind of perception they have about these healthcare facilities, which also comes to play some role. And I would again say that there are sometimes some of the cultural factors which also play some role. We see that there are institutional deliveries, but still, in those also we find that there is delayed breastfeeding, supplementary feeding is delayed, and also there is prelacteal feed. Now we need to look at that. So institutional delivery, even though it happens, it doesn't address these issues. There is incomplete immunization, which is almost similar to home deliveries. So again, we need to look at that. And then those people are also going and seeking healthcare at private or over the counter. So to conclude, probably institutional delivery is not the answer for everything related to infant and child care practices. We need to look at local culture and tradition. Probably we need to have some more sustained efforts, campaigns, awareness, and of course, we need to use mass media, maybe village leaders, stakeholders, to improve the health-related behavior and care-seeking practices among these people in these rural areas. Thank you very much for a patient hearing.